Hey there Vault Dwellers, NakedVaultDweller here, and in this video I'm going to cover 7 perk cards that have some serious flaws in them and what I think Bethesda can do to make these cards better. Before we get started, please take this moment to give this video a thumbs up because YouTube is like a 3-star legendary that only yields a 1-star weapon, so any little bit really does help out a lot. Also, if you're not already subscribed to the NakedVaultDweller YouTube channel, now would be the perfect time for you to join us. Okay, so during this season, I was tasked to drink 25 pre-war alcohol beverages, and hating to become addicted, I remember going through my perks and seeing a card that prevented a player from becoming addicted to alcohol. So I began to thumb through the gazillion cards I had already when I came across the professional drinker perk card in the endurance category. Great, this will be easy, I thought. When I equipped the card, I realized it was only a 1-star perk card, which would leave me with 3 available perk points to use for something else, because I only had 4 in endurance at the time. However, this wasn't the case. When I attempted to equip another perk card with a professional drinker card, I found that nothing I was trying would work. And that's when I noticed that even though it's a 1-star perk card, it requires 3 perk points to equip. That can't be right, can it? And this card isn't an overly powerful card, so I started to dig a little deeper. I mean, all this card really does is keep a player from becoming addicted to alcohol. Also, before I go any further, I just want to make it clear that this video is not a bash video towards Bethesda, and I certainly don't want anyone to think that it's going in that direction. Personally, I think that Bethesda's made some strides to make the player experience better, and overall I think that their progress has some promise. I hope to see more improvements to the game, and I hope that somewhere in those improvements they take a hard look at these 7 cards that I'm going to outline to you today. Okay, so where was I? Oh yeah, after discovering this issue, I dropped into the Bethesda forums and asked if the card was broken. The forum post that I left didn't seem to garner much attention, and when I checked back up on it later, it seemed like it was pretty much an accepted trait of this card. Okay, well, how many other cards are like Professional Drinker? That was the burning question to me, so I set out to find the answer. In that search, I discovered that there was indeed 7 cards that require more perk points to equip than the actual perk value of the card. And of course, like any other good YouTuber, I'll save the best for the last because it's one that I think that we've all used in the past. I also think it will be the one that will require the least amount of attention. And so without further ado, number 1, Professional Drinker. And as I mentioned before, this is the card that sent me down this path. Professional Drinker, when equipped as a perk, will keep your character from becoming addicted to alcohol. Wouldn't we all like something like this in real life? Also, Addictol will cure any addictions and is readily available to any player at any level. To further the fact that this perk needs to be reworked, there's also a chem resistant perk under Endurance that does virtually the same thing as Professional Drinker, except that it's set up like what you would expect for it to be. A 2-card perk requires 2 perk points to equip. Easy peasy. Number 2, Party Boy or Party Girl. Other than the title, this perk card is the same no matter what sex you decide to play in Fallout 76. And using this perk triples the positive effects of drinking alcohol. Great! Now I can go out on Friday night and knock down some Jägermeister without a care in the world. I better have 3 perk points available though with this 2-star perk, else I might end up with a fuzzy navel the next morning. And okay, sorry for the drinking name puns, you'd throw them out too if you just had sex on the beach. Okay, I'll stop. Party Boy and Girl works well in combination with the Professional Drinker perk, however, keep in mind what you stand to lose when you equip both of these cards together. Number 3, Field Surgeon. Look over at Charisma again and we'll find the Field Surgeon perk. At first, it looks like equipping this perk might be okay, as it's supposed to cause Stimpaks and Right-Away to work much faster. But when you look a little closer, you'll see yet again that this perk requires 2 perk points, yet it is a 1-star card. And just to note, here's an example of how fast the Stimpak will work with the card equipped. As you can see, there's a noticeable difference in its replenishing, but is it really worth giving up 2 perk points to have it equipped? This perk is also in Nuclear Winter and requires 6 perk points in Charisma to equip. And as a side note, I'd love to know if anyone watching this video uses this perk often in either normal adventure mode or Nuclear Winter mode, and let us know your thoughts. Number 4, Lifegiver. In my own personal opinion, this card doesn't really have a place in Fallout 76 as it's just not powerful enough for what is required to equip it. I feel like the devs were sitting around a table drinking fuzzy navels trying to put the finishing touches on Endurance when someone said they were tired, and behold, this perk was born. And of course, that's not the case, and I'm certain that someone did work hard on getting this card out. I just think there'd be more value to this perk if it was just tweaked a little bit. Lifegiver's been around for quite some time and has had a few modifications in its lifespan throughout the Fallout 76 series. The card is an in-level perk card in Fallout 76, only becoming available at level 50, and the bonuses to having the card equipped, to me, are even less beneficial than, say, if I had the card at level 10. With all that being said, Lifegiver, like the previous perk cards, requires 4 perk points to equip, a 3-star perk, which really takes the appeal way down. Number 5, Awareness. Now, Awareness is a card I think anyone can benefit from. The Awareness perk will allow the player to select an enemy in VATS to get a peek at their damage weaknesses. Now, I think most can agree that using this perk card when you first leave the vault would be a nice touch when you want to get to know your enemies that you encounter. This is yet another card that has had a journey throughout the Fallout versions. It wasn't until Fallout 4 when Bethesda decided to take the level requirements up to level 14, and finally when we got around to Fallout 76, the level requirements for this card reached level 27. Awareness requires 2 perk points to equip, yet it only needs 1 perk point to own. I hope everybody's starting to see a trend here. Number 6, Night Eyes. Any would-be sneaky snipers looked at this perk card with joy in their eyes, only to be underwhelmed once they equip it. Night Eyes has all the right stuff to make it a fantastic card, however, as it sits, it really doesn't offer much more than not having it equipped at all. What also bothers me about this perk card is that it only works during certain times of the day, which is pretty much a shame. If it worked the way I'd hoped it would, going into mines or other dark locations would be a little bit more enjoyable, at least it would to me. Night Eyes requires 2 perk points to equip, yet it is only a 1-star perk card. This is a cool card, by the way, and I really do hope that Bethesda decides to revamp this in the future. And finally, number 7. So this might actually be the only card that I use out of the 7 we've listed. It's been around since Fallout 4 and it does work really well for what it's supposed to do. And of course, I'm talking about the Lone Wanderer card. To me, the level requirements is spot on for this perk card, and if it's stacked with Dodgy and Suppressor, you can reduce your incoming damage by as much as 80%. Just like the previous 6 cards, this card also requires more perk points than it does to purchase the card. Also, with it being a perk card that many new players lean on, such as myself, that would mean that I would have to have 4 perk points free in Charisma before I could effectively use the card with 3 stars. Which to me is yet another waste, as I could put another card in that spot if the perk points match the stars on the card. So what do I think needs to be done to make some of these cards better? If I didn't do anything else to these cards, I would only lower the perk point requirements to match the card, or I would raise the star value of the card along with its tiers so that it matches the perk point requirement. If that was the only thing that was done, I think that would be an acceptable change. Then, if it's possible, I would enhance some of the following cards. With Field Surgeon, this card stacks well with Field Medic and Born Survivor, but by itself it has no real value to me. There is a place for it in Nuclear Winter though. For Lifegiver, instead of making this card a set amount of points, perhaps Bethesda could base it upon a percentage of the base value of HP, like 10%, 15%, 25%. Also maybe make it available to players early on. And with Awareness, another great card, if Bethesda was able to get this card so the lower level players could use it, I think it would be a nice fit, especially if they're not familiar with the game. Night Eyes needs a revamp for sure. Take the time restrictions off this card and make the dark places really seem like they're lit up when you have it equipped. Adding highlighting to enemies like what the Berry Mentons do or what the tracking HUD does with the power armor would also be a nice touch. Finally, the Lone Wanderer has all the hallmarks it needs, and I wouldn't suggest any changes to it at all, except for maybe, the perk points. There's probably a lot of cards out there that can use some tweaking, but these 7 are the ones that I personally would like to see Bethesda take a look at. So I want to hear from you. Do you use any of the cards that I've gone over in this video? And do you have any suggestions that could make these cards or any other cards better? Leave us all a comment down below, and while you're down there, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up button on this video. As for me, I have to take my banana to the doctor. It doesn't peel well. We'll see you next time, and thanks for watching.